77 episodes, 1977. Coincidence? Yes. Welcome back to the Skill Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 77 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. It's nice to have you here. This show is a catch-all of things that I'm working on, projects, stuff on the bench, stuff on the floor, stuff in my head that I've managed to make into real things. Let's get right into it. First on the bench today, the Axial SCX10 3 Jeep CJ, and here it is. Some substantial modifications have been made. This is not your grandpappy's Renegade. It's not your pappy's either. But yeah, we've made some substantial changes. Nothing to the Lexan body. 25 days without modifying or painting or doing anything with Lexan. I'm doing very well. But yes, lots of changes. Some cosmetic. We've added a My Trick RC light kit to this whole truck. I should actually probably put a battery in and power it on. We've got some pods up here that we've added. Still no light bar. I'm working on it. Don't worry. Yeah, full nice light kit using the Dragon controller. It's excellent. It's such a great kit. And My Trick RC makes it very easy for you to upgrade or change or add lights to a system. I've already got the outputs ready for a light bar. I just need to order the light bar. I've been very lax in ordering lately. I think it's the January credit card thing, you know? Like everyone spends so much at Christmas time and then they're like, oh, I can't spend any money. So that's probably why I don't have a light bar yet, among a lot of other things. Luckily, I did have most of this stuff sitting around to make all these modifications. So this was a fairly easy on the wallet currently, probably not when I bought all this stuff, but easy on the wallet currently upgrades. So in addition to the My Trick RC light kit, we've also got these great Falcon Wild Peak MTs from Vanquish. These are the 465 tall tires. I actually quite like the look of these, especially with the other mods that I've done to the truck. It all kind of goes together, if you will. I've also got these KMC tanks on here. These are the black wheels. They're 1.9s, obviously, with some IFR rings to make it kind of blinged out a little bit. I loved the red and the sort of the gray color to go with the red and the gray and the stickers. It's all matchy-matchy, which is my favorite way of doing things. One gold bolt. And then the gold scale hardware as well really completes the look. I struggled with SLW width. I kind of wanted to aid performance a little bit by making it a little bit wider, and you can see the track width is certainly wider than it would have been stock. These are the 450s, 450 Vanquish products, 475. Right, these are the 475s, which sounds wide, but I tried the 225s. They were too narrow. They didn't quite look right. These ones I think actually do look the part, and I'm pretty happy with the look. On a cosmetic level, yeah, they look amazing, but on a performance level, I think having that little bit extra width is going to help significantly on the trails. It is already quite top heavy because of the fact that it's a big heavy duty Lexan body with a bunch of plastic parts on it. So getting that center of gravity a little bit lower would be a great thing too, right? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. The next thing that I need to show you here, Proline, what are these? These are the Proline scalar shocks. I hate saying that word. It's so awful. I can't even believe that can't be what they call them. Proline Racing.com. Big bore scalar shocks. Oof, terrible name. These are the 90 to 95 mil ones, and as you can see, it's sitting in droop, basically. It's sitting at full compression, and I really like that look. I think it really, really makes this truck great, and it does bring the whole body down significantly. You still get all the maximum up and down travel, You don't ruin any of that performance, but you just get it to sit a little bit lower. And I'm very, very happy with the stance. And these shocks are good. They're good quality shock. They are obviously a little bit larger, so calling it a scalar shock really kind of makes me cringe a bit, but they do work great. And very happy with those so far. Now, let's look at the next big thing, and that's how this body attaches to this chassis. Everybody hates body clips, which is why they got rid of them on the outside of the body. It's clean, it's very accurate, it's nice, it looks good this way. But they put them in the worst possible spots to get at. They're very difficult to get them on and off. So along comes Kevin Fine from Fine Laser Designs, who designs and prints his own clip mounts for all kinds of different bodies. This is his latest for the SCX10 CJ. With just a simple clip, you can get this body on and off very easily. And with just a little, oh man, that makes it so much easier to get that on and off. I love it. Look at this. So here you have a big, heavy duty printed, it's resin printed actually, and it holds up to a lot of abuse. Big clip on the front there. And that's just spectacular. There's another smaller one on the rear, and this is just so easy to get this body on and off. The only thing, you still got to work around those inner fenders a little bit, and you know, they can be a bit of a pain, but once you get that sorted, it's not that bad. It's pretty darn easy. And the same with the front. You just give it a nice swift click, and boom, your body's on. Amazing. I absolutely love that. So thank you, Kevin, for being an innovator and doing something outside of the box and making a great product that makes this truck so much easier to work on. Love it. I will put a link down below to that and all the products that I use today, so you can pick them up at your leisure if you want. But I would definitely recommend that Fine Laser clip design product. It's just so awesome. Makes this truck so much more usable. And now that we can get that body on and off so easily, so great. Let's take a look at what changes have been done under the hood, because they are significant. You'll see right away there is a VFD transmission from Vanquish in there. Josh created this mount, I 3D printed it, and added some incision drive shafts to make this just a much better transmission solution. Your motor is sitting nice and low. I have already done the Furatech Python upgrade, Parenti motor as well, and the Raw 500 88 of 262 Reefs servo, and that's pink, and then red for everything else, so that's kind of nice. But this just makes this truck so much more usable now, because that center of gravity has come far lower. While I think the SCX10 and the Jeep CJ for all intents and purposes is the best looking SCX10 they've done, it still wasn't tops in terms of performance, but this helps significantly. I am so thrilled at the change that this makes. And it's just a simple 3D printed part to change this transmission. All the gains with no pain. How can you go wrong? This is absolutely fantastic. Josh is selling those on his website. I'll put a link down below. Okay, that's it for the CJ. Lots of changes. Cannot wait to get it back outside. It's so cruddy out there though. It's not even snow or ice. It's just crud. It's snert. There's snert everywhere. Okay, on to the next thing. And of course, it wouldn't be a What's on the Bench episode without some stuff on the bench from the Jackalope No Fun Haver as well, or 2 truck. And yeah, here it is. Some significant changes, as you can see, on those front fenders. These are still being made in Fusion 360, but I'm using that forms technique to create what I think is a much better representation of what I was trying to go for the first time. Nobody liked the little eyebrows, and myself included. I didn't really like them. It was just more of a proof of concept to see how I could take that learning and build something new, and this is what I've come up with, and I'm really pleased with how these turned out. It's a pretty advanced technique according to the people that I've been showing it to, I was able to learn an awful lot from that whole YouTube site that I shared last week. I'll put that link again in this description because it's so useful. If you are at all a noob in Fusion 360, this Matt, not me, another Matt, does a great job of explaining exactly how to do these things and create complex shapes like this that contour perfectly to the body. I'm so excited about this. I printed again in ABS, so all of this now, except the hood, is ABS plastic. So I can use my MEK bonding agent to bond everything together. And then I also use my MEK goop. Everybody should have a bottle of scrap styrene that's been melted in MEK to fill all the gaps. It's a gap filler, and it's because it's the same material as everything else, it does a great job of doing that. I had to trim the inside of the fenders a little bit in order to make all of that work, but you can see there's tons of clearance under there, and I think it just looks so cool. I'm so happy with that. If you're looking to get better in Fusion 360, the best way to do it is to find a project that you want to accomplish and actually do it. Watch all the tutorials, learn as much as you can, and do it at the same time that you're watching so you understand why these things are happening. It's just, I'm so excited about this build. Mostly because there's no Lexan. No, mostly because I'm doing it myself, and it's been a long time since I've DIY'd a full build, and I'm having an amazing time doing it. And that should always be the focus. Fun. I mean, I'm calling this the no fun haver, but it is very fun. Now, underneath, let's take that body off, and actually I'll give you a few more looks at it, but you can see how, like, these fenders just integrate perfectly because I designed them that way. And then when I print them, they're exactly the same. It's exactly what I wanted. I'm so happy. Most of the cab now has had a sanding with 80 grit and down to 220 on some parts of it. Still, some needs more sanding than others. This whole back part probably is going to get a bit of filler just to clean it up. Some filler will have to be used on the hood as well to get rid of that seam, and probably even on the fenders as well just to clean those up. But overall, this has really just progressed in a very, very good way, and I'm very happy with the results so far. And now onto the chassis. There have been some changes here as well. One of the main things that people had mentioned before was that my battery tray was way too high. Let's flip this around here. They had mentioned that the battery tray was way too high, so I started working on a prototype here of a new battery tray, which actually, not surprisingly, I designed it this way. I designed this battery tray to fit this LiPo perfectly. This is a Helios 3700 3S LiPo pack, which should be, you know, spot on, perfect for what I need, and it's good amount of weight, pretty much lower now too, which I'm very happy about. Just printed this out on the Bamboo Carbon X1. It's a very rough print. I didn't put any glue stick down on the bed, so I actually lifted in a few places. My fault, not the printer's. But that'll be revised and remodeled, and then we'll have full suspension travel still, as you can see, but just a much lower battery tray and keeping that weight at the rear, which is what I've been told is good. You can see I've also changed the shocks. These are off, what are these from? I think these are from the Axial TT. Is that possible? The trophy truck. Yeah, these are off the trophy truck, the King shocks. These are 4 inches in length, so I've got a bit more of a suspension travel cycle as well. And I am using the beams trailing arms now as well from the kit. Now, up front here, these are the sliders that I designed. I just printed the same one twice, just mirrored it. But now we've got a mount for a micro servo here, which is going to be powering the rear differential. And I've also built a tab in here, so that piece there will hold that in place. And then you just clamp it down with a screw. And then that way the servo can do the thing it's supposed to do. Amazing, right? Yeah. So that's chassis changes, which I'm feeling pretty good about. I feel like things are starting to come together. I do want to change the oil. I do need a much thinner shock oil front and rear. I think it just needs to cycle a bit faster than that. That seems a bit slow to me. So we're going to try experimenting with that before we drive it. And then we have to start building a cage. Luckily, we've got all kinds of points to build a cage into the Jackalope chassis because Scale Metal Supplies designed it in a way that you could do that. But so far, so good. I'm feeling really good about this build. This is probably one of the more, you know, for me, challenging builds because there's a lot of elements to it. And a lot of things that I'm doing for the first time as well, which is great. Anyway, there you go. That's a first kind of look at some major progress on the No Fun Haver as well. How much DIY are you comfortable doing? Put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of those as I can. And of course, if you're enjoying this video, you like What's on the Bench as a series, and you want to see it continue, hit the like button. Why do I have to tell you these things? Just do it. All right, I think that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Lots of words, but lots of cool progress. We'll see you again next week.